to the next episode of the Infinity Wrestling Talk. We are going to do some analysis of the finals. I'm Zubin, I'm with Horace, and let's get started at 141. So, 141, I thought it was a pretty awesome matchup. I thought the match was really exciting. They were engaging. But I mean, I was on Mendez's train all season. I thought he had an argument to be the Hodge Trophy winner, but Vega, like we've said it before, or like you said it before, Horace, he's a wizard, and I don't know how anyone can shoot on him and score because he just finds a way to scramble out of everything, and it was awesome. Got to and Mendez got in real nice, got in real deep shot, and you know credit to Vega for sprawling and covering the head and then slipping it and then getting to a position where he could score. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's just got so much length. It's crazy. And we were just talking before we started coming on here about like, well, now the people are gonna go crazy and start talking about Vega or Forrest. Like, do either one of them ever lose again, or do they get four undefeated? I guess with Vega, you could say, will anyone ever take him down? Because it seems pretty impossible based on this year, and he's only going to get better. We talked during the match was, the when they went into overtime, and everyone really respects Vega on top. Even Hardy took neutral when he had choice in the semi, but Mendez got out and he rode him pretty well. I think he ended with riding time in his favor when regulation ended.
Yeah,
So
I think it was like 14 seconds.
yeah, it wasn't a ton, but I mean, he got out quicker than Vega did, and then in sudden victory, when they were, I thought that Mendez was gonna be resigned to go to rideouts, but I don't know if he thought maybe he didn't have the advantage there, even though he got out quick the first time. So I was kind of surprised he shot because obviously that's where Vega wants to be. Vega wants to be scrambling defensively.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, to be honest with you, I wouldn't have been surprised if if Mendez half shot his way to a stall call because he had a stall call too. So yeah, it was a surprising choice. I mean, I don't know, maybe Mendez didn't want to go to sudden victory. He just wanted to stamp it, and kind of cost him because they can scramble.
Yeah, Mendez is a dog, so I don't think he's thinking about I'm not going to score this takedown. I don't think he was thinking that. I think he thought I'm going to get in, I'm going to drive through and get him down to the ground, and just didn't work out for him. But as you can see, we're going to be going through our picks we made in the last video. Both of us had Mendez, so those are both unfortunately wrong.
Yeah.
And then next up, we went to 49, Valencia Van Ness. Uh, it came out. It kind of looked like some of the matches that Van Ness has had earlier this year. He gave up the first takedown, then got exposed or got some backs for Valencia. It was just crazy, but then he started chipping away, coming back, and you thought he was gonna eke it out, but ended up losing a very, very close one. Happy for Valencia. We've said this has kind of been the year of the freshman, and that's another freshman from Stanford winning in sudden victory. When I went to sudden victory, I thought it was going to be Van Ness, but Valencia just found a way. He was great, moving his feet really well, re-attacking really well. So really happy for him. That was a good match.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was really interesting, right? Because, like you said, Valencia came out there, took him down, and then Benes had his little run, and then you know it was just he got to his shot. And he I loved his finish off. When he went underneath and picked him up and wrapped around both legs and then sat to the side. It's a finish I haven't seen a lot, but I mean they've been doing it in college for a little bit, and I thought I thought it was beautiful executed. I mean, he definitely put himself in the correct position. So I thought, you know, I thought Valencia wrestled his match. For a second, Van Ness would look like he was coming back on a tear, but Valencia definitely wrestled his match. Came out early and finished strong.
Yeah, I'll also say, given the whole Robidou Duke fiasco, I think the refs did a decent job of letting it play out a little bit longer in overtime, not immediately stopping it, because Van Ness did have that foot, but I think in the long run, and obviously it was reviewed, Van Ness holding that foot wasn't really doing anything. It was just kind of a desperation thing.
Yeah,
But so we were both high on Van Ness, so we're starting out real hot here, 0 for 2.
yeah. Our picks aren't doing so good.
Let's go to 57.
Oh man, looks like you're about to one up me here, but yeah, I mean, I went with Taylor. Um, I mean, I like Ravadu, but I went with Taylor just because I thought he was gonna wrestle his match, and he didn't really seem to wrestle his match while he was out there. He really seemed like timid. I mean, I know he's stingy and like that's what he normally does, but he just didn't like he didn't really ever really try to fake a shot or anything or get Ravadu on the defensive, just to break the cycle because it just seemed like Robbie was just coming after him, and then towards the end, he started to put Robbie put on the ice skates, and then finally Taylor was coming after him, but it was too little, too late. You can't wait that long, and kudos to Rabidou for coming out there, wrestling his match, getting that takedown. That was a slick takedown, and you know, being a dog in there. How many blood times were there? Right, they had to clean that mat over and over again during this match, but kept his composure and just wrestled hard and tough, and I was really impressed by what he did.
Yeah, he really obviously had a great game plan. I think the big takeaway from this finals session was Okie State and their freshmen are just amazing. I mean, they had four make the finals, and as we go through them, we'll see that three of them won. And obviously, David Taylor's doing something great out there, and he's called the Magic Man for a reason. He's given some of that to his team because that was a great win. And to your point, Rob D was a little beat up. I mean, he kept having great head defense, putting his head in the way, and kind of reminiscent of when JB would shoot those doubles and just come forward with his face up and just take a beating. Rob D was taking that beating, but it got him a national title, so I'm sure he doesn't mind the little bit of extra bruising he's gonna have tomorrow.
Yeah,
But yeah,
for sure.
go ahead.
So yeah, for sure. I mean, he got cut early too. It was consistent. Like they had to stop it so many times that I was just like, man, I mean, it's different. Obviously, in college, there's no blood time, right? Like there is in high school. But I was like, dang, this is like consistent. So I was very impressed with how his, you know, his mental ability to stay focused and just keep grinding for that win.
Yeah, it was really good. And so like you said, I'm gonna get one up. Finally, we got a pick right. Hey, look at that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so and then we'll move to 65, where I think this was the most sure thing. And I texted you and said, "Hey, we've had three upsets. What if Messenbrink loses?" Which would have been crazy, but obviously it didn't happen. I think Messenbrink came out there and wanted to prove that he is that dude and he is that good. Caliendo is a great wrestler, four-time All-American, but Messenbrink is just on another level than all these guys. I did like that little like side headlock throw that Caliendo tried. It almost got him, and he was in on that deep a couple times, and it was really funny when they restarted in the third and Caliendo took top. You knew he was going to try it again. The ref told him it was illegal, and you could hear him say, "No, it's not," back to the guy. So obviously he was in desperation mode. I think he was down 14 at that point, so he was just trying to throw it. So yeah, Messenbrink by Tech ended up just kind of what most people expected. I think the only thing that was going to be different was how did it end, and Messenbrink really put a stamp on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, no doubt. Messenbrink to me is the Heisman Trophy winner this year based off of what he did in the national final. Um, he absolutely ran through. I thought that little headlock throw was pretty cool. At least, I mean, I'm pretty sure Caliendo, he's a three-time finalist, right? He's lost to uh, Messenbrink all three times, right?
Yes, I believe so.
And then yeah, and then he was an All-American, I believe, at North Dakota prior to coming to Iowa.
Yep.
And I mean, he's no slouch. He's solid, and I believe, you know, if Messenbrink isn't his it isn't his time during college, Callahan's a multiple time national champion, and that just shows you that why Messenbrink, right, is just on another level. And so, yeah, I agree with you. And you definitely nailed it on the head with the Messenbrink tech. I mean, I definitely thought he was going to major him, but he just took it to him.
Yeah, he like I said, he came out there with a point to prove it. It kind of reminds me of you talking about Caliendo. Kind of reminds me of DC. You know, he was a really great wrestler, but he always had to wrestle Kale Sanderson,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so Caliendo's kind of in that same boat with Messenbrink.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and move to 74.
Yeah. So Levi Haynes, and then versus Minto. Not the most exciting match. I mean, I thought Levi was just very methodical in his approach for the first 6 minutes and 15 seconds of this match. He literally, kept his back to the NCAA logo and just took space, took ground, forced out Minto, got a stall call early, and then got out on bottom, and then forced another stall call. And then Minto got out in third, and just and then he started to put on some pressure for like that last 45 seconds. But like we saw with Taylor, like it was just a little too late, and can't really wait that long. I mean, granted, it was a 2-1 match, and same thing as the Big Ten final. And I didn't think Levi looked as impressive as in this match as he has all tournament. I mean, I'm pretty sure he tech faulted everybody all the way here. But I mean, he wrestled his match. He wrestled smart, and I mean, I think he deserved to win. He wrestled for the first 6 minutes and 15 seconds, and he did what he had to do to show that he was wrestling, where Minto didn't.
Yeah, you hit that on the head. I think we both said we thought it would be a little more decisive of a decision, but Minto really didn't want to engage. It didn't seem like. But Levi went out there and did his job, and he, never really was in much trouble. And like you said, you can't wait until the end to really try to pour it on. I think if Minto had wrestled with that intensity the whole time, of course he would get tired, but I think he might have had a better shot than waiting until there's about 30 seconds left to really put his foot on the gas.
Yeah, for sure. It was just. I mean, I didn't like his game plan. So hopefully, he comes back. I'm pretty sure he's underclassman, so he'll come back next year. Has better.
Yeah,
You know,
he's a sophomore
yeah. So he has better output next year. But I'm happy for Levi. Ended his college career on a championship. So good for him.
for sure, and we both got that one right. I was feeling really good. I got three in a row, and then it just kind of stopped. But we'll move on to 84. Welsh McAnally. I think everyone knew this was going to be a close match. And I texted you when McAnally got the takedown. I said, "Well, Rocco doesn't like to score in regulation, so this match is over." But McAnally did a really good job. That was a really nice little like low single he hit, and then he kind of transitioned it into a outside step high crotch and pulled himself in and finished that pretty cleanly, and then just controlled the hand fight the rest of the time and didn't really give Rocco any openings. So it was a really methodical match. Maybe not the most action out of any of these. I don't think anyone expected that with these two. But overall, a really good win for McAnally.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, a funny thing is, before the match started, JB goes, I bet this match goes into overtime.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good match. I mean, I really thought McAnally wrestled the way that he was supposed to. Um, he went after Welsh early, which was, the difference between this match and the Big Ten final is that, McAnally went after the leg early. I mean, Big Ten final, they just seem to do half shots. McAnally committed, finished right away, and it really set the tone that he really dominated the match. There was a little craziness like in the last 10 seconds where I think he like lost his footing, which I was like, no way, don't do
That
this.
that was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, awesome. McAnally's a sophomore, and this is. I mean, we've been talking about the year of the freshman, but this is definitely an underclassman. National championships that for the most part. I mean, I think only Haynes and um, what's his name? I think what the NC State. Yeah, I'm blanking right now.
Trumbull.
Trumbull, yeah, that's right, Trumbull. Um, uh, that he got. So, but yeah, I mean, great match, McAnally. I'm happy I got that one. Catch me up a little bit, but then it just doesn't get much better.
Well, let's move on to 97.
Yeah, Barr versus Merrill. Hey, Merrill wrestled tough. I mean, for that first two periods, like Barr got to his takedown, and Merrill um, got out right away. I was pretty impressed. He only had 30 seconds of riding time. And then he got another takedown, and then Merrill again got out right away. He wrestled tough. I was definitely impressed with him. I think, Merrill looked a little undersized for 97, being a freshman. But, Barr did what Barr was supposed to do. He got after some takedowns, but I was actually thoroughly impressed with Merrill's output for this match, even though he lost. Um, but yeah, Barr's on another level, and yeah, didn't really have the offensive output that we both thought, but he did enough and more to win the national title.
Yeah, for sure. Merrill is very composed. He always, all these Oklahoma State guys, they're very composed in every position. Of course, Jax and Vega are a lot of times in what seems like chaos, but they always look like they're super composed and under control. And it just really shone in that match because, like you said, Barr was putting on the pressure, attacking. He always just 7 minutes of pressure whenever he wrestles. But Merrill was weathering the storm very well. He did give up those two takedowns, but as you say, never a second of where he felt bad for himself for giving up a takedown. Immediately popped back up, started fighting hands, and got the quick escape both times. So all in all, I definitely got to give kudos to Merrill. That was a great match, and obviously he's just a freshman, so he's going to have 3 more years, and he's going to be a perennial contender. But yeah, we both thought it was going to be a little more on the bonus side. Merrill held him to a decision, which, like again, great job by Merrill doing that. But Barr gets his national championship, and well deserved because I love the way he wrestles.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we'll go up to 285, where this is another one we both got wrong. Bastida and Trumbull. I think when we did our video last night, we might have been a little influenced by the way Bastida just manhandled AJ Ferrari,
Yeah.
and I think that might have given us, because honestly, last night I didn't even really take a second thought to Trumbull. When we got to this, I was just like, oh, Bastida's gonna win. But Trumbull did what he needed to do. He got a great ride. He's so good on top. Throw,
Yeah.
he throws legs. Great crossbody ride. It was interesting going into the third. The most interesting part of that match to me was, Rock Harrison said that Dresser told him to go neutral, but Bastida took down. And, I joked with you and said we need to show that to our wrestlers as to why you always listen to us, because that was obviously not a great choice. I don't know if he would have won the match if he went neutral, but definitely think he would have been in a better spot than. I don't. He didn't even get up, did he? He was on the mat the entire
No.
time, and the third just getting ridden out. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think that was a bad call in the third. And I thought, so yeah, I definitely was influenced by that Ferrari match, that semifinal. But Trumbull looks awesome, or looked awesome at 285. Like he's tall, he can move, he can scramble, right? Bastida had him up, and he rolled through, and it
And
was
that
some
little knee
awesome.
spin was nice too.
Yeah, he moved really well. He's a tall heavyweight. It wasn't like he's tiny, but it was pretty impressive. And so definitely kudos to Trumbull and how he wrestled. He definitely wrestled his match against, you know, Estito was number one all year. And so Trumbull wrestled his match and he definitely deserved, and it was a dominating 5-1 victory. And so good for him. I'm happy for him. That was an awesome match, and he definitely deserved it.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we both were on Bastida there, so fortunately we got that one wrong, but got two more to talk about, so let's move to 25.
Yeah, so 125 was probably the least exciting match of the 10. Um, Neither wrestler did too much. I mean, Lil Doll was taking ground, but didn't really have any effective shots. Um, Got a stall call early on McGowan. Um, and I really thought not that McGowan was gonna come out and shoot guns blazing, but after their match from earlier in the year, I thought he would be a little bit more active, to avoid any stall calls, because that was the big thing at their last match. But I mean, it was a 2-1 match. Um, they both got out on bottom, and then Little forced the action enough to get a stall call, and then like the Nebraska wrestlers earlier, um, he tried to turn it on at the end, but really had no answer for Little's defense. And I mean, yeah, I think Little was stalling a little bit, but I mean, he earned the right to do that. So. Good job for him. He wrestled a solid match for him. He had a good great game plan. Didn't need to extend himself, and congratulations to Luke Liddell, Lightning Luke.
Yeah, I thought McGowan might come out a little more on fire, especially after, they were talking about the last time they wrestled. He got stalled out with stalled out, five stalling calls, which they kept saying they'd never seen anything like that in D1, but I said they must not have watched Austin DeSanto wrestle. Um, but
Or,
it is
or
rare.
Gable last year.
Uh,
Gable, he did to Yaroslav.
oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know?
So it does happen every now and then, but definitely usually not at a lower weight. So that
Yeah.
is surprising. But honestly, I thought they could have been a little more liberal with the stalling calls. They gave McGowan a lot of leeway because he really didn't do much for the first 6 minutes and 15 seconds of that match. And to your point, once they finally hit him with that second stalling call and Lilidal got the point, so then he was up 2-1. I think he did kind of shut down, but he had earned the right at that point. He had been the aggressor for six and a half minutes almost. So I didn't blame him for shutting it down. I thought he was going to be able to get to his offense a little more. But he didn't need to. He wrestled. He was trying, and just McGowan kept kind of evading, and so he changed the game plan kind of mid-match. One's a close 2-1 decision, but it wasn't really ever in question. So you were right on that one, and I was a little bullish on Lilidal's offensive output.
Yeah, it also seemed like McGowan was just trying to wait for rideouts, but he
Yes.
didn't wasn't doing anything to get there, right? No half shots, no, no attempts, um, really at all. I mean, honestly, to the last 30 seconds, I don't think he made an attempt before that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So he wasn't doing a good job of making it look like he was trying to wrestle. Um,
Right.
like I think that was Taylor, right, where he was earlier when Taylor was wrestling. Rob Dew got behind him and he kind of ran to the boundary, and then we knew he was trying to get out of bounds, but he made it look good.
Yes, yes,
McGowan
very
did
much
not
so.
make it look good. He was
No,
obviously
yeah,
trying to evade action.
yeah.
And then so the the ultimate match, the main event of the night, two of the super freshmen at 33, Force and Davino. I think everyone was looking forward to this match. It was a low scoring match. So obviously my tech was way off the table. But it was, for as low scoring as it was a very entertaining match. Davino is very gifted defensively. He wasn't. He was countering Jax's little slide by he does pretty well in the hand fight. He was neutralizing a lot of Jax's hand fight, and he wasn't engaging much with attacking the legs. Because just like Vega, when you get into Jax's legs, you're in a dog fight. And a lot of the times Jax comes out on top of those dogfights, as we saw when Davino did take a shot. So I think Davino had a great game plan. He was wrestling smart, but Forrest just stayed composed, did what he needed to do. And, the crazy thing is we start with a true freshman national champ and we end with a true freshman national champ. So there's really some special stuff going on out there at Oklahoma State. But Forrest is impeccable. To think he was in high school 5 months ago, and here he is winning a D1 national title is just unprecedented.
Yeah, absolutely insane. I mean, to go from wrestling high school kids in PA um, to the national final in college in the same year is out of this world. I mean, unless another phenom comes through, I honestly don't see him getting touched. You know, like as far as ever losing, but I mean, obviously, you never know. Anything could happen. However, he just looks so dominant out there. I don't know if when you were talking about how he was trying to, when Davina was trying to avoid giving him the elbow, right? He actually was reaching underneath, dropping to his knees with his head in terrible position, and he did not look like he was in trouble at all. And Davino had no answer.
Yeah,
And I was like, wow. I was like, you do that. You do that. Like anybody else does that, and they're getting smashed into the mat, moved around. There's no way that um, a kind of a national finalist doesn't score on a person that does that. But that's how good Jax Forrest was, and to be that out of position and still be in control of your opponent is absolutely phenomenal. Great for him, 5-1 victory. There was a really close exchange in the first, and I was like, all right, here we go. And then um, Davina was just trying to neutralize Forrest, but there was really nothing that he could do. You could see it was just about time, like in due time, he was going to get there. Forrest was trying to figure his way out, and just like he knew he was going to get the takedown. As he said in the interview, he wasn't worried. Like he wasn't really worried. He just knew that he just got to keep going, and he was going to get there. And so good for him. I'm excited for the next 3 years to watch him dominate college wrestling.
yeah, absolutely. And, to echo some stuff he said in the interview too, and what you were talking about, where he was really in bad position. And I thought Davina was getting the better of the hand fight, but he's just kind of a crazy wrestler, which is what he said. And you're right, he was in horrible position. It looked like Davino could take advantage of it, but he just couldn't. Um,
Yeah.
I heard Ben Askren say the other day that when he first saw him a couple years ago, and he's wide open. He wrestles kind of wild, kind of crazy. And Ben Askren said, "Man, this kid is either going to be the greatest ever or not very good. There's really no in between, and it looks like he's trending towards being the greatest ever. Obviously, it's really soon to say that, but he is phenomenal. It's amazing to watch."
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited for the next 3 years. For him, Vega, and that whole Okie State team. I mean, we were texting about it, and yeah, Penn State's in the lead right now, and they probably will win again next year. But um,
The
two
Cowboys are
years,
coming.
yeah, they're coming. They, I mean, Messenbrink's gonna be gone, and then they probably lose couple other kids, but I mean, obviously they'll replace them, but their heavy hitters, that they have right now are gone. I mean, Barr might be a senior that by that time, but still, The Cowboys are coming, and they look dangerous, like absolutely dangerous. Like it's now it's a two-man race, and now it's going to be who everybody else fighting for third.
Yeah, I agree. I just hope Jax maybe goes up a weight so Seidel can win next year. Because I love Seidel. I don't think he's gonna ever get close to Jax again though, unfortunately. But he is a special talent. But that again, just kind of like what we were talking about with Caliendo and Metzenbrink, it just shows you how good Forrest is. That he just is in control of these matches against these guys that if he wasn't there would be fighting for the national championship. But the path is going to go through him for the next 3 years, wherever he's at. So
Absolutely.
looking at it, we both got six people right. You had four of the decisions right. I was three. So not too bad. We were kind of on the right track. At least we were 6 for 10 on who was going to win. Um,
Yeah, it
so
was a
I
good call.
obviously we've been rapid firing videos. We're gonna not be so rapid fire, but we're still gonna be putting videos out on this channel. So thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you on the next one.
Yeah.